Welcome to State of Tech. My name's Jared. Today we're going to take a look at the Pebble Time. This is the Pebble Time Steel. I've been waiting for it for a while now and have been kind of, my anticipation has tailed off a bit because the other Pebble Time came out a while ago and we've seen lots of stuff mentioned, you could buy it in stores, and I just yesterday got my Pebble Time and have been able to spend a lot of time using it. Now, I've had a lot of smart connected watch devices. I had the previous Pebble Steel, I've had many Android Wear enabled watches and an Apple Watch or two as well. So this particular watch, I was excited at the time of the Kickstarter project because I did really like the previous version of the Pebble Steel. It just wasn't exciting enough because it didn't seem new enough to me. Although after having newer devices such as some of the Android Wear devices and realizing that there isn't a whole lot of depth there to that platform yet, and even with the Apple Watch, the Pebble really started becoming attractive to me again. And with the fact that they were coming out with a color e-paper, up to 10 days of battery life, and all these exciting things, I really got excited about the device. And so over the last 24 hours, I've spent a lot of time playing with it and looking through all the features and getting notifications and phone calls and all the different things that this device is able to notify you of. And so far, it's lived up to the expectations. You know, I paid $250 plus shipping for this, backing it on Kickstarter, and though I've yet to get the band that matches, I actually kind of like the leather band, although I am looking forward to my steel band. Some of my initial thoughts on what really sticks out about this watch and what I really like is the viewable angle of the display. Like, the display's always on because it's an e-paper display. Doesn't take up a whole lot of battery life in order to keep the clock on the watch face, which I really like. It was always hit or miss with my other watches. If I wasn't at the right angle when I rotated my wrist, the watch wouldn't come on, and I'm pushing buttons. And I'm wasting valuable time trying to get to see what time it is or see a notification that might have happened recently. Whereas with this watch, the screen's always on and ready to go. With a simple push of a button, it lights up, and then really quickly I'm looking through, different notifications, and I'm able to manage those notifications. What I do like about it is the timeline feature. I mean, a watch, I've always felt that these smartwatches can be very gimmicky, and I believe that Android and Apple, or Google and Apple, have kind of tried to take advantage of this market, and it is kind of gimmicky. There's certain things that we just absolutely don't need our watch to do. Simple notifications, being minimal, not being obnoxious. I think that's what the watch needs to do. It needs to bridge the gap between you having to pull your phone out all the time. And the Pebble Time Steel does that. Pebble Time does that well. It gives you the notifications that you need. It allows you to be able to scroll through the timeline without having to go into different apps for everything, which becomes time consuming on the other watch platforms. You can't go and look through your notifications and your schedule and everything really easily. So I like the curved glass on the display. It just feels very premium to me with that curved glass. As I'm looking at my watch, maybe driving, and I look down at my watch and just the sky is reflecting off of that glass. I mean, it is kind of beautiful. It is really small, and it took me a little while to get over how small this watch face is. And especially the bezel is extremely large, which makes the watch face itself even more tiny, but that's fine. It's a watch, and in reality, it's a watch that I just want to be able to replace having to pull my phone out of my pocket for every little notification that I get, and I want to be able to customize those notifications, and the Pebble Time does that. Am I super excited that I got it finally? I'm not really. I'm not super thrilled that I got it because it took so much time. We live in a world where Companies now are kickstarting projects, and they don't really need to kickstart them because they should have the cash to, send their own product to market, which I believe Pebble probably did. They even alluded in their own video that, like, we're just missing you. They already had the product pretty much done. So what they're saying is they just missed our cash, essentially, and they're using Kickstarter because they were able to get a bigger initial sales from that. I get that whole process, but because of having to wait an extended amount of time for something that I still feel is somewhat gimmicky, I lost my excitement factor there. So am I excited now that I've spent 24 hours with it? I am more excited. I thought to myself, man, another $100 and I probably could have bought, or $150 and I could have bought an Apple Watch, or at $250 I could have bought a Moto 360 and had money to spare. There's a lot of options that are out there now. Pebble isn't the only game in town anymore. So if you're looking for something that has a solid battery life, you're not really going to have to worry about charging it nearly as often as pretty much everything else on the market. Something that gives you notifications, that is easy to use without wasting a lot of your time. Pebble really has that figured out, and I think that that's their main selling factor there. Aside from stylish or whatever, the battery life is huge. One less device that you have to worry about charging every single day, and the ease of use. Obviously, there are lots of apps that you can install on this, and you could really kind of get tons of notifications and add a lot of functionality to the watch itself. But as it sits out of the box, it's a good notification alternative to pulling your phone out of your pocket all the time. It has decent battery life, and it is a good looking watch. So if you're thinking about, should I buy this Pebble Time or Pebble Time Steel when that finally hits the streets, if your mindset is where mine is, I just want it to be minimal, I don't want it to be another huge distraction, Pebble probably has that nailed. The other watch platforms, Apple, Android, they haven't figured that out yet. They're all about apps. They're all about getting you to buy more apps, and you have to go into most of those apps in order to get to all the information that you typically would want. Pebble somewhat limits that, but still gives you all access to what you need most frequently without burying you under a bunch of apps. So definitely a cool device. Like I said, the timeline is pretty cool. It has basic features, stopwatch, timer, the ability to switch tracks on your music and stuff like that, an alarm, watch faces so you can customize it till you're blue in the face, integration with Evernote, which I like, being able to respond to text messages by voice and also have built-in responses that you can just quickly send off. Those are all time-saving, neat little features that add value to the product, and I do think that it is worth the price. What it comes down to is, are you fine with choosing a platform that's other than the device that you're on? Pebble is not the same platform as your phone, but they do support multiple platforms. So it really comes down to, do you like the style? Are you fine with the differences in the platform? And for me, right now, I am. Tomorrow might be a different story, but for right now, the Pebble Time Steel is a pretty decent watch. Thanks for checking out this video on State of Tech. Links in the description below to the products mentioned in this video. If you have any questions or any thoughts of your own, please put them in the comments below and we will do our best to respond to them. And subscribe to our channel if you would like to see more videos like this. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.